Honorable Chairperson, Dr. Arvind Panagaria, Srimati Annie George Matthew, Member 16th Finance Commission, Dr. Manoj Panda, Member 16th Finance Commission, the Secretary and Joint Secretary of the Finance Commission, and all the media persons here. As is the practice, Finance Commission interacts with a wide range of stakeholders. As a part of it, the Finance Commission is meeting the press, political parties, local body representatives, and industry representatives. In the first half of the day, we had a very productive interaction with the Honorable CM and the government of AP. Chairman, sir, we have a media personnel from both Telugu and English media here to interact with us. We'll initiate the press meet with the remarks of Honorable Chairperson, and then we'll take questions from the press. Now I request Honorable Chairperson to address the press.
Very good. So we are waiting for Dr. Panda, who is also here now. So good timing. All right. So sorry, I don't speak Telugu. Otherwise, I would have also, states where Hindi is spoken, I'm able to speak in both English and Hindi, but unfortunately, that's my language limitation. This is what I'm going to do. First, I will explain to you what the Finance Commission's mandate is, because sometimes there is confusion about what precisely Finance Commission is supposed to do. Then I'll tell you about our interaction with the Andhra Pradesh government and the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh today, and where the Commission is in its work currently. So first of all, the major task that the Constitution delegates to the Finance Commission, which is appointed every 5 years, is to make a recommendation on how the union tax revenues should be shared first between the central government and the 28 states, which is the current number of states, but in general, how this should be shared between center and the states. This division is called vertical devolution, and then how the share assigned to the states is to be divided among the 28 states. That is called the horizontal devolution. So that is number one. Number two, it is also required to make recommendations on grants to be given to the local bodies, namely, rural bodies and the local urban bodies, both. So meaning in rural areas, the panchayats, and in urban areas, the municipal institutions. So that's the second. The third is about the grants for disaster relief and disaster mitigation. Then it can also give grants which are called state-specific grants and grants which are sector-specific grants. So that is roughly the mandate of the Finance Commission. Now, what happens is that there are certain taxes which go directly to the states automatically. So, most importantly, the state GST, SGST, that goes directly to the states. That is the state's share in the GST. Then you have the excise on liquor, for example, that also goes directly to the state. Any state taxes on petrol go directly to the states. Then you got some taxes that go straight directly to the union government, to the central government. Any taxes that accrue to the union territories go directly to the central government. Some cesses and surcharges go directly to the central government. And some collection cost of taxes, because central government does all the tax collection, that is also taken out basically. So whatever is left over roughly is called the divisible pool. So this includes all the income tax revenue, it includes the corporate profit tax revenue, custom duties, what have you. So any of these various tax sources, the big sources of tax revenue, they all go into this pot of money, because this is called the divisible pool. And it is the divisible pool which the Finance Commission then recommends how that should be divided between central government and the state government. And then it also recommends how the revenues that are to be devolved to the states should be divided among the 28 states. All right. So that's where we are now. The last recommendation was by the 15th Finance Commission, and 15th Finance Commission had recommended that 41% of the divisible pool should go to the states, and remaining 59% should go to the central government. All the grants that I mentioned, so the local body grants, the disaster relief grants, any state-specific grants or sector-specific grants, anything that is called grants, they come out of the central government's budget. Okay, so it is what is called the Consolidated Fund of India. So grants do not come from the divisible pool. They all come from the central government's budget. So in this sense, the share of the states is not limited to that 41% that was allocated to the states by the 15th Finance Commission. It also includes these grants. And then there is a separate channel through which comes, which is directly from the central government, on which Finance Commission has no role, but you should know that there is something called the centrally sponsored schemes. So in the centrally sponsored schemes, typically 60% of the share comes from the central government, 40% is given by the states. In some programs, the share is higher. I think Narega probably has 75% share from the central government, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I mean, the Food Security Act, and under Food Security Act also, I think there is a little different division. Okay, so that is the full roadmap. That is what is done. Now, we met, so as a part of our consultation process, so the Finance Commission, which is given a 5-year period during which it has to make the for which it has to make recommendations for our 16th Finance Commission. That period is from 2026-27 to 2030-31. So for those 5 years, our recommendations will apply on how the tax revenues are to be shared and what kind of grants are to be given. The commissions traditionally do very wide consultation. They, among other things, they visit every single state. So we have been doing that for the last several months now. It will be soon, it will be about a year since we have been doing the visits. Andhra Pradesh is our 23rd state. After this, we will have 5 more left. We also consult regionally. So basically the experts. So we also went to, for southern states, we conducted one in Vizag. For western states, we conducted one from Jaipur, and for eastern state, we did from Rajgir in Bihar, and for the northeastern states, we went to Meghalaya, and for the northern states, we just did it from New Delhi. So there was also these 5 other consultations with the experts. Then we consult previous finance commissions, their chairman, members, whoever is available. We are also open to suggestions from everybody. So our website has a link where anybody can leave their suggestions. They are looked into on a regular basis by our staff. So as a part of that consultation, now we are currently in Andhra Pradesh. This morning we met the Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Finance Minister, their staff, other cabinet members and all. It was a long, extensive meeting. Which was preceded by the Chief Minister himself giving us a little bit of a tour of Amravati in progress. So there's very, very interesting, you know, your Chief Minister is a visionary leader, And so he really, I'd known him since my days when I was at the Niti Aayog from 2015 to 2017. And at that time, we had worked on a couple of committees together. He had headed the Swachh Bharat Mission report that the Niti Aayog did at that time. And he also, very importantly, was the chair of the committee on digitization soon after demonetization. Which ultimately led to the, this application, BHIM application, and the building of the entire UPI system on which all our payment system is now based. So we have known each other for quite a while, and at that time I'd also visited here in Vijayawada and come to Amravati. Amravati was being built in those days at that time, and it slowed down in the last 4 or 5 years, but it has obviously resumed, and the tour that the Chief Minister gave was incredibly impressive, very, very impressive. There was also a short video of Amravati, what it is going to look like, and also I recommend all that to you if you haven't seen it. It's really, really very impressive. So the state, rather unusually here, initially the Finance Minister gave a short speech, but then the Chief Minister spoke. And much of the brief to the Commission really effectively was given by the Chief Minister himself. This has happened to us only in one or maybe arguably 2 states at the most. But clearly, the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh is a very hands-on leader. So he conceives these things. He talks out these things. So he really gave the fairly substantial presentation using a PowerPoint presentation. And obviously, since he is a visionary leader, he spoke first also about what he thinks India is going to look like in the next 20-25 years, the 2047 Viksit Bharat vision and all, and how within that how Swarna Andhra Pradesh would look like in 2047. And he laid out his own vision, etc., of Andhra Pradesh. He then also talked about the evolution of Andhra Pradesh economy, how the bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh into Telangana and the current state of Andhra Pradesh worked out or did not work out. And in that context, then he also then presented what the needs of the states are going forward, how he wants to implement his vision, etc. So his very impressive speech was followed by a presentation by the Finance Secretary, and where he laid out some of the details that are relevant more directly to the Finance Commission. And among those, the main one obviously relate to what the recommendation of the Andhra Pradesh government are on vertical devolution and horizontal devolution. So I will tell you a little bit about that. So as I said, 15th Finance Commission. So historically, 11th Finance Commission, whose award period was 2000 to 2005 or 2001 to 2004-5. So I'll just say 2001 to 2005, 2000 to 2005. So that started at 29.5% going to the states. That was raised by the 12th to 30.5, which was then raised by the 13th to 32. Then came along 14th, which really jumped it from 32 to 42. That was a very large jump. Very unusual for finance commissions, because generally finance commissions are more conservative. They don't disturb status quo by a very large jump, but this was an unusual case. So the 14th took it from 32 to 42. 15th, which is the last one before us, pegged it back at 41, which meant no change, because in the meantime, the Jammu and Kashmir state had been converted into 2 union territories, and so therefore that became a part of this union's responsibility. So that 1% that it did was what would have been devolved to Jammu and Kashmir. So effectively, on vertical, the 15th Finance Commission did not make any change. On horizontal now, I will tell you what the 15th did and what the recommendations of Andhra Pradesh are. So population is one of the criterion which virtually all 15 finance commissions have used in one or the other form. So population was given a weight of 15% by the 15th Finance Commission. What that means is that whatever is the state share, out of that 15% was devolved to the states based on their share in the population of the 28 states. Okay, so if Andhra Pradesh, let's say, has a share of 4%, then out of that 15%, 4% would be go to Andhra Pradesh. That's how this is done. So 15% weight to population was given by the 15th. Andhra Pradesh's recommendation on that is that it should be reduced from 15 to 5. On area, the 15th Finance Commission also gave 15% weight. Again, Andhra Pradesh's recommendation is that the weight of area should also be reduced to 5%. On forest and ecology, 10% was the weight given by the 15th Finance Commission. Andhra Pradesh's recommendation is, it's a two-part recommendation. One, they said if forest and ecology, the level, so how much is the dense forest, what is the share of the state in dense forest around the country. Based on that, the 15th had done 15%. The Andhra Pradesh recommendation is to reduce that to 5%. And then they add another 15% for the increase in the forest cover. Okay? So rather than the level of the forest, also include increase in the forest cover and give a 15% weight to that. So that weight is recommended to be reduced to 30%. Tax and fiscal effort, that is, for each rupee worth of GSDP, how much revenue do you raise, right? If you raise more, then that should be incentivized. That's the idea, or that should be rewarded. So the 15th had given a weight of 2.5% to that. Andhra Pradesh, instead of that, has recommended that contribution of agriculture and allied sectors to the gross state value added in the total gross value added. So it's Andhra Pradesh's view is that that is also a measure. So it's really in the spirit perhaps of the income distance also to some degree, that this is indicative of a little bit of disability, because agriculture, industry and services drive the GDP growth faster. But this also requires attention, that what is your share in agriculture, what is the share of agriculture in the gross state value added. So 20% weight for that. So if you see that, that 45% plus 2.5% by the 15th Commission, income distance plus tax and fiscal effort, was total 50. So 30 and 20 here, income distance and contribution of agriculture become 50. So this is how the replacement works out. Demographic performance, there the 15th Finance Commission had used the total fertility rate. That the lower the total fertility rate, the larger the share of the state. That was to reward the states which had done better in terms of slowing down the population growth. So that was 12.5% weight given by the 15th Finance Commission. Andhra Pradesh has given 20% weight, but Andhra Pradesh's recommendation is slightly different. What Andhra Pradesh has recommended is that the Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission, should consider not just the fact that the total fertility rate is brought down to the replacement level, but it should go a little beyond, because going too far below the total fertility rate is also problematic, because it is then over time going to increase very dramatically the dependency ratios, the aging of the population. And those of you who are covering the Chief Minister would know that he has been making this argument that we also need to, that, southern states particularly, but in general, I think this is more applicable to all the states which have high per capita incomes, where generally TFR has fallen well below the replacement rate. And that obviously causes a bit of a problem in the longer run. So he has been, so this Andhra Pradesh recommendation is that the 16th Finance Commission should look at that criterion more holistically, allowing for the fact that beyond a point, you need encouragement to population increase rather than discouragement. So that's the set of recommendations. And there are some recommendations on grants to rural local bodies, urban local bodies, and disaster relief. And there are some Andhra Pradesh specific suggestions for grants. So that's the total sum of our meeting today. Where we stand, this, as I said, this is our 23rd state. We still have to do 5 more states. No decisions have been made. So just to preempt some of your questions, I should tell you that, if you ask me what the Finance Commission is going to do on this or that or what have you, I will have no answer, because no such decisions have been made. This cannot be done by definition until we have visited all the states. And even then, a lot of discussions will have to happen. We have also, have ongoing discussions with the ministries of the central government. Many of the ministries we have discussed, many still are to come in. But most importantly, our discussion, our consultation with the finance ministry, which really is, in a way, represents the central government as a whole, are still ongoing as well. So we are supposed to also receive a memorandum from the central government, which is given by the finance ministry. That is also yet to come. So there is quite a while before we reach any kinds of decisions. So if you throw at me the questions on what the Finance Commission will do, I'm afraid you will be wasting your time, because my answer will be the same which I've given you.
This is
Yes.
Dhananjay from ETV, sir.
Sorry?
This is Dhananjay from ETV.
Okay.
So would you consider this fertility rate issue?
No, we are open, at this point, we are open to considering every single issue. So we would actually, so we are maintaining a very long spreadsheet of which state is making what recommendation. And I look at that as do the other members of the commission as well, very closely. So yes, of course, we will look at that issue.
Any other state asked you about this one, fertility rate issue?
So I know that Assam also raised the same issue that the Chief Minister and Andhra Pradesh state have raised. That they said, Assam Chief Minister also said that, look, so his advice, he was a bit more concrete. He said that, look, anybody whose fertility rate goes below 2.1 should be basically kept at 2.1. Somebody who is at 1.8, that should not be rewarded. Only up to 2.1, the reward should be. So that was at least one more state which made that point. In public statements, you also know that the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has also said that, we need to encourage population growth in states where it has fallen below the fertility rate. Yeah, please.
Central government has recently done away with the slew of centrally sponsored schemes.
No, they're not done away, no.
Okay, then because if that's the case, AP stands to lose. What's your take on it?
No. But there is no, it's not happening. What had happened after 14th, I described to you that 14th Finance Commission had raised the share of the states from 32 to 42%. Right? So that left the central government's budget in great difficulty. So at that time, they had scaled back some of the centrally sponsored schemes, and they had also changed the sharing formula. sharing formula used to be broadly 75 and 25. Central government's contribution 75% to the CSS and 25% of the states. So at that time, this is like we are talking about 2015, the sharing formula was changed to 60 and 40. But right now, there is no such move. And the central, clearly, central government, in fact, is also, centrally sponsored schemes are also an instrument for further equalization, right? Areas in which if the states are not doing enough and more needs to be done, then the central government actually uses the CSS as an instrument to fill that gap.
And now that the special category status which AP demanded is closed chapter, is there a chance of finance commission considering any relaxation or not?
So,
Relating to devolution of revenue?
yeah, so two-part answer to that. This was also a big issue when I was at the chairman, vice chairman at the Niti Aayog and all. But what had happened was that, look, planning commission was abolished. And the special category status, so special category states and general category states, that was a classification that was used by the planning commission for the grants it used to give. But that is all, once the planning commission was closed down and replaced by the Niti Aayog, then effectively that classification itself became defunct. So nobody has any special category status today.
Any specific term of reference was still specific term of references?
Sorry?
Any specific term of references to 16
terms of reference for the 16th.
Generally, historically, if you look at it, up to 15th Finance Commission, there had been some additional things stated, beyond the constitutional mandate, which is what I described to you. The central government always used to give some more direction. Constitution does have a line which says that in the central government can specify other things in the terms of reference in the interest of sound finances. So the central government is empowered to do that by the constitution. But this is the first time that the central government has not given any conditions to the 16th Finance Commission. Like, for example, the use of 2011 population data instead of 1971. That was part of the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission. So they were bound by it because the terms of reference required it. We have been given no such restrictions of any sort. So this is for the first time, actually, it's quite historic in this sense, that they have left practically everything to the commission itself.
Sir, after bifurcation, Andhra Pradesh faces many problems like debt burden, revenue.
So the chief minister talked at length about that. He said that they inherited less resources, more people, less the GSDP, more people. All that had impact on the long run finances of the state. It also had an impact on the debt that the state inherited. So yes, I think that was part of the case making for the Finance Commission to give some special consideration to Andhra Pradesh.
We'll take the last question and close the meet, please. One more question and we'll close the meet.
So the CM has spoken to you about the existence for development of Amravati. Any proposal on that side?
Sorry, about Amravati?
Any existence the CM has start from the commission for that? That's what I want.
So in general, he has pitched that Andhra Pradesh has many needs, and Amravati, continuing to build up Amravati is one of those needs as well. So that also came up in the discussions, and of course, as I said, he really also gave us a very nice brief on both history of. I actually didn't know that history of Amravati goes back to about 3rd century BC. And associated with Emperor Ashoka and whatnot, So he gave us the whole history and how it evolved and where the construction of capital stands today and what are the resource needs of that. So yes, there was discussion.
We'll conclude the meet.